Hello, Facebook friends and family. I wanted to hop on today to do a little Facebook Live about coaching and how most of us are coaches in our lives. And really, it was about this came to me because I've been reading this book called The Coaching Habit. Say Less, Ask More, and Change the Way You Lead Forever. It's by Michael Bungay Stanier, and I'll put his the name of that in the comments so you can find it if you're interested. And this book I've read several times over the years. It's a really quick and easy read. I think he has like 7 main questions to ask, and part of what he was talking about, the part I was reading today, is about how most managers have had some form of coaching, and that most often, unfortunately, it wasn't very good coaching. And so sometimes it even had a negative effect where the manager was left saying, yeah, I look forward to being even more confused and stuck and after talking to you in my next coaching session. So if we're leaving people more confused and stuck, that's not very helpful. Coaching is all about helping others and unlocking their potential. So most of you out there are probably already committed to helping others. And I think we are in a wonderful space in business these days where the intention is to help others. How can I help others? How can I help you? How can I be there as your go-to guy, right? I want you to think of me when you need a printer, whatever. So how can we help people? And so we're probably already committed to that helping, but we're not really using that helping as a chance to coach. And so if you are a parent and you have teenagers or kids that are getting ready to go to college, you probably do find yourself in a little bit of a coaching position. However, that tends to be more of a advice-giving position. And that can be, let's just say that might not be received as well. So when you do find yourself in that advice-giving mode, there are just a couple of things that I would like to remind you of. And these are things that Michael talks about in his book. These are things that I learned in my coaching training, and these are things that you may already do. I would love to hear from you if you do. But the first one is a good one. It's just a basic one. And it's really just to avoid stacking questions. So as soon as you open up that conversation, sometimes what people do is find themselves saying, like, hey, Bob, how are you? How's the wife? How are the kids? What have you been up to these days? Where are you working? Did you guys move? Where did you move? Right? They just blurt out a million questions. And in a coaching position or situation, again, whether you're a parent or a manager or a leader or just having lunch with your sister and trying to help her get a date, whatever that is, we need to just give them a little bit of space, right? So just start with one question, let them answer, listen, and don't start thinking about your next question, but really tune in and listen and meet them where they are. Find out what they're looking for and then ask the next question. So I really love that reminder because I know I do it. With coaching, we want to get to the bottom of it. We want to say, well, what made you feel that way? And what did he say next? And whatever, right? We're just really trying to get all the answers quickly. So it's a good reminder to avoid stacking. And then the second thing is, the second tip that I really loved from his book was about like, what is that right way to start a conversation? And how do you go deeper with somebody without, I don't know, just in that situation, how do you start? So what happens oftentimes is when we're in a situation like a icebreaker or we're just trying to get to meet, out there meeting somebody, there are often patterns that we follow. So with the icebreaker, we always say, what do you do for a living? Or for a meeting, say a Monday morning meeting for your company, oftentimes there's an agenda that we just follow and we don't ever question that agenda. So, the boss comes in, he gives you the numbers, the sales guys report their numbers, the service team talks about how things are going, and you talk about the birthdays and any other announcements, who's been leaving their food in the fridge too long, and you all go back to your desk quickly and get back to work. But that, you know, in those situations, or even as a mom, right? Like you know, you might assume what the problem is. So it's another way this might come up is you meet with your manager or your employee or your kid, and you assume you know what the problem is, and so you don't really ask any questions. You just dive right into giving advice. Like, you know, so Joe, I know you're having trouble with your sales. Let's get you doing more calls, whatever, right? Like you just dive right in. So one way to open up this conversation, to open up a coaching conversation, or just get a little bit deeper with your kid in the car, whatever it is to ask the question, what is on your mind? And I love this question. And of course, as I was logging in to do this, that's the question that Facebook asks. So I shouldn't take any credit for that. I'm not trying to anyway. This is from the book, but it's a great one. And I do use it almost every time I have a coaching call. I either say, what's on your mind? Or with my actual clients, I usually say, what keeps you up at night? Because that goes a little bit deeper and it's a little bit more personal that way, and alludes to a little bit more of a personal question. So this is just a great question. It's not too broad, it's not too narrow, it's sort of just an open-ended question, and it helps you really focus on what's important to that person that you're talking to. If I am coaching my sister on dating, if I say, what's on your mind? And she says, well, I'm really nervous about putting myself out there on Tinder, that will lead the conversation a lot differently than if she said, I don't know, I don't know which dating app to use. I don't know, whatever, right? It's just a different conversation. So it helps you lead the conversation to what's most important for that person. So I hope that for all of you out there trying to help people, this would be another layer to that helping and really help unlock the potential in others and really help you take your conversations to that next level and make it even more helpful. So I hope this was helpful to you. I'd love to hear your comments below. I'm sorry this went so long. Sometimes I just ramble. And don't you love my open cabinets is the new look around here because we're having them painted. So soon to be updated kitchen. And anyway, I'd love to hear your comments below, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, take care.